It all started with a single glance. Excessively prolonged, overwhelmingly intense, and far beyond what a daughter should ever experience. Hello, my name is Emily. I have just reached the age of 21. I reside with my father. I have been without my mother since my early years. My mother departed due to her serious illness. It has been solely my father and I relying on one another. My childhood was abundant with affection and nurturing from him. His name is Robert. He embraced the responsibilities of both parents, striving to fill the void left by her absence. Life continued on its steady course until a single day transformed everything completely. The journey began as I reached the age of 18 and embarked on my university experience. That moment changed everything for me. Prepared to expand my horizons and discover new experiences, I distinctly recall the overwhelming sense of confusion that enveloped me as I departed from my cherished home and ventured beyond my father's nurturing embrace to confront a life brimming with obstacles. In those days, I was merely a girl unaware of the intricacies of love and the roller coaster of relationships. My heart was untainted and brimming with intense fervor. I was eager to dive in, completely excited to engage with all that university had to offer. At the outset, all was fresh and thrilling. I encountered a multitude of individuals from various places. We exchanged remarkable tales and cherished moments enveloped by the vibrant energy of lecture halls and the chatter in the dorms. There were moments when I longed for home intensely. Each time I remembered my dad, a profound yearning filled my heart. I envisioned him looking after me, sharing tales of my mom during serene evenings, his eyes brimming with melancholy and profound emotions continually resurfaced within me. All was proceeding seamlessly until that one remarkable day. That moment transformed my entire existence utterly. It transformed my perspective on the world. This moment marked a significant shift in my adult life, testing my beliefs in ways I had never experienced before. I have shed my innocence and bid farewell to the carefree girl I once was. From that day forward, I started confronting difficult emotions and unexpected events directly. I also made friends who were beginning their journey just as I was. The university girls resembled me in some ways, yet were also completely distinct. They were not your average girls. They navigated the pub scene with expertise and attended all the thrilling parties. Essentially, they simply have men and women. We occupied a cozy dorm room at school, and even within those limited walls, there was an abundance of laughter and endless tales. Initially, I was completely lost and remained silent and reserved in their presence. However, as time passed, I found myself captivated by their realm. On weekend nights, our room was perpetually alive with excitement. Unlike any other time, all my friends were adorned in their makeup and had chosen stunning dresses. Their phones were blaring with loud music. Their eyes sparkled with enthusiasm, igniting my curiosity. Gradually, I found myself captivated. The discussions surrounding gatherings and fresh experiences stirred a desire within me to join in. Initially, I participated merely to explore the experience, seeking something truly unique. My inaugural evening at the bar with them, I'll always remember that blend of excitement and bewilderment as I stepped into a space brimming with pulsating lights. Flashing lights, pulsating music, and boisterous laughter echoing everywhere. I lingered in that moment, savoring the cocktail my friend had crafted for me. A slight bitterness touched my lips. Nights such as those swiftly turned into our routine. Initially, I observed, but before long, I dove headfirst into the excitement. Gripping my friend's hands, twirling wildly, and sharing endless laughter. I also discovered how to enjoy drinks alongside them. It began with small sips, and soon enough, I found myself downing entire drinks without a second thought. Evenings were brimming with laughter and a bit of clumsiness. Legs as we made our way back to the dorm. Laughter and lively chatter filled the air as we reminisced about our wild escapades. The exhilaration of liberation and defiance filled me with an unparalleled sense of vitality. I've changed a lot since starting college. I'm no longer that innocent girl. I ventured into territory I never imagined I would. At gatherings, I swiftly discovered affection, something that once seemed so ambiguous now felt tangible. At a classmate's birthday celebration, I encountered a new individual. His smile and the way he gazed at me sent my heart racing like never before. I experienced a pristine surge of affection in the stillness of the night. We exchanged lengthy messages revealing personal stories and aspirations for what lies ahead. Love surprised me unexpectedly, a moment of enchantment that took my breath away. The initial year of college passed in a blur of vibrant, ceaseless days. I have transformed significantly since my arrival. Once a reserved girl dedicated to her studies and modest dreams, I evolved into a person who embraced boundless joy and savored the complex flavor of wine. The fervor of the music continues to resonate within me. As the inaugural year drew to a close, we parted ways. We each cling to fragments of memories and emotions. Once our roommates departed, the dorm fell into a profound silence. Everyone is making their way home to kick off summer break. It felt strange and hollow in the absence of the familiar laughter. The allure of nighttime escapades beckoned. Extended conversations in the shadows brought to light just how accustomed I had become to that lifestyle. Everything truly began when I arrived home. I just walked in and found my dad glued to the TV, his eyes locked on the screen, completely oblivious to my return. In that instant, a clever idea struck me to quietly approach and give him a good scare as a surprise. I advanced silently, taking one measured step after another. Just as my hand was poised to touch my dad's shoulder, he turned around in an instant. He took my hand and lifted me effortlessly into his embrace. You returned in silence. His voice carried a comforting warmth. We erupted in laughter. The atmosphere was alive with delight and astonishment. I gazed at him, pondering how he had anticipated my arrival. He inquired, and Dad gestured towards the mirror near the television. I turned around and saw the mirror was capturing every move I made, essentially revealing my intentions from the very beginning. I chuckled heartily, a mix of embarrassment and amusement washing over me. Father chuckled as well, his gaze sparkling with that well-known affection and warmth. After sharing some delightful conversations and laughter, I sprang up and informed Dad that I needed to fetch my suitcase and return to my room. He nodded, a warm smile still gracing his face. I hurried over to the luggage area. Embracing the inviting, comforting atmosphere of home, the space filled with cherished memories and the affection my dad bestowed upon me. The afternoon thrummed with vitality, fueled by Dad's exuberant nature. That evening, we settled down for dinner in the stillness of the home. I began sharing with him my experiences at school and how quickly this past year seemed to fly by. We shared laughter, exchanging amusing tales. At times, he would flash me a mischievous grin, gazing at me with an abundance of affection. It just dawned on me, my dad looks quite handsome these days. He's nearing 50, yet he continues to do so. He possesses the physique of a youthful individual, enjoys exercising, and his rigorous daily regimen maintains his chiseled physique. He donned a tank top, proudly displaying his impressive muscles. In that instant, I noticed his strength and striking appearance, and it struck me in an unexpected manner. At that moment, our gazes locked. I was captivated. Out of nowhere, my thoughts spiraled into chaos. Suddenly, my dad's booming voice jolted me back to reality. What occupies your thoughts? I was taken by surprise, offered a brief smile, and shook my head. Nothing. Just lost in thought, Dad. My dad and I shared smiles, our eyes gleaming with joy. Dad remarked, "You just spent a whole year at school. You've really changed." I nodded, smiled, and replied, "You've grown up too, Dad." That night, as I lay in bed, I couldn't stop thinking about Dad's strong muscles. I found myself in a state of confusion. I never imagined I would ponder so profoundly about him. The image lingered in my mind even behind closed eyelids. The following day arrived. The midday sun blazed down mercilessly. I was simply relaxing in the living room. Beads of perspiration trickled down my spine. Regardless of how vigorously I waved my fan, it proved to be ineffective. The last remnants of the breeze vanished into the sweltering heat. Rob, the guy I found myself stealing glances at as he focused on his tasks, stepped out early for some errands and returned by noon. The oppressive heat simply refused to relent. Every inch of my skin felt as if it were screaming on the verge of igniting into flames. I could no longer endure it. I entered the bathroom, allowing the refreshing water to cascade over me. Every drop swiftly erased the heat and frustration, leaving me feeling significantly improved. I was completely immersed in that wonderful sensation, nearly oblivious to everything else surrounding me. Please remember to close the bathroom door. Refreshing water cascaded down my shoulders and back. Every splash softly soothed the searing ache in my chest. I shut my eyes. A serene sensation enveloped me as the room resonated with the soothing sound of flowing water and my rhythmic breaths. I recalled stealing glances at Robert through the window, observing him immerse himself in his tasks, utterly concentrated each action, precise, his gaze fixed intently, secured and confined. Since I began my journey at university, a transformation has taken place within me. The feelings I had for him swiftly transformed into a powerful, elusive emotion. Out of nowhere, an odd sensation washed over me, jolting me awake as if I were being scrutinized intently. I turned my head and halted as soon as our eyes met, my gaze fixed on Robert. He stood by the door once more, gazing at me through the slim opening of the partially ajar door. His eyes remained fixed, his expression revealing an odd blend of astonishment and an indescribable emotion. My heart raced with intensity. My legs felt rigid as if they were immobilized. I was inhaling and exhaling in every direction. The atmosphere was heavy with unease. The only sound that filled the air was the rush of water. Each moment seemed to stretch endlessly. At that instant, it was clear to us that we had stepped over a boundary. I shattered the stillness. My voice trembled. "Dad, welcome back." Robert startled as if he had just been yanked from a deep slumber. His eyes brimmed with uncertainty. He blinked quickly, scanning the room, seeking something. He possessed a purpose for being present. He gripped his bag firmly, the strap quivering in sync with his pulse. "Oh dear. I apologize. I didn't consider it." His voice carried a gritty tremor. He averted his gaze, yet his cheeks still betrayed him, flushing a deep crimson. We remained still, both caught in the moment despite the cramped surroundings. Water dripped down, reminiscent of a playful jest lingering in the atmosphere. We stood on the brink of something taboo. I gripped more firmly. Each drop that struck the floor sent a refreshing shiver through the room, struggling to maintain its composure. Emotions were in a whirlwind. A gentle breeze wafted through the partially open window, causing me to tremble uncontrollably. It was completely mortifying and intolerable. He gazed at me once more, our eyes locking together. Silence speaks volumes, conveying a deep connection without the need for language. She whirled around and hurried back to the living room. Silence enveloped the room. Yet my heart continued to race. My mind was chaotic with thoughts scattered everywhere. At last, I dashed out of the bathroom, securely enveloped in a towel. Water continued to shimmer on my damp skin. The steam in the room coiled around me. I quietly slipped away, blending into the oppressive, sweltering heat of that humid afternoon. I entered the living room, my heart racing at the sight of him. Robert sat there, his shirt clinging to him, beads of sweat cascading down. For a brief moment, our gazes intertwined before he swiftly averted his eyes. Establishing eye contact seemed utterly unattainable. I had lost my innocence. A daring excitement coursed within me. I approached him with a smile, each step brimming with longing, and settled down right beside him. His breath caressed my cheek, narrowing the distance that separated us. Between us, it was nearly insignificant. "Did you catch all that just now?" I whispered, a playful smile dancing on my lips as if it were nothing out of the ordinary. Robert tensed, his brown eyes shimmering in the living room light, taking on an almost fiery red hue. His expression contorted, filled with anxiety and discomfort. He faltered in his speech, searching for the perfect words. Dad. No," he whispered under his breath. His hands gripped the fabric of his shirt, concealing the mounting tension. Once more, our gazes intertwined. I witnessed the struggle unfolding within him, the clash between reason and emotions. "Do not turn away from me," I murmured. Our gazes remained intertwined for what seemed like an eternity. Our moment together seemed to be suspended in time. He gulped nervously. His dry lips parted as if he were on the verge of speaking, but then he hesitated. The distinction between right and wrong was becoming increasingly unclear for us both. Robert inhaled sharply. His hands trembled slightly on my shoulders. "This isn't going to work," he murmured softly, primarily to himself. Yet I continued to persevere regardless. Unusual. An exhilarating surge coursed through my veins. His gaze darted to meet mine. Uncertainty enveloped me. There was no obvious indication that he was opposed to this. I simply couldn't restrain myself. I raised my hands and caressed Robert's face. Then I drew him near and pressed my lips against his quivering ones. The unexpected moment caused him to pause for an instant, yet soon his lips found theirs in a gentle embrace. Gentle yet fervent, our breaths intertwined. The unseen divide that separated us vanished. Robert acted without a moment's pause. He held me close, enveloping me in his embrace. I sensed his heart racing against mine. The external realm faded away. It was merely the two of us enveloped in the thrill of the experience. Nope. My heart raced in my chest. Each wave of warmth enveloped me as Robert's fingers glided through my damp hair. I likely shouldn't have allowed him to do that. He murmured once more, yet his words were engulfed by the torrent of emotions. No response. I gazed into his eyes, perceiving that glimmer of yielding. Shortly after, we found ourselves enveloped in a kiss that was deeper and more passionate. All uncertainties and reasoning had vanished completely. After that moment, barriers ceased to exist between us. Disappeared. We embraced one another with complete abandon. All else faded away. In the days that followed, our home became a sanctuary, dispelling all fears and uncertainties. Whenever he entered the room, his piercing stare sent my heart into a frenzy. I could sense each sharp breath, each powerful movement he executed. It felt as though he was attempting to etch his image into my mind. Initially, a sense of apprehension lingered, accompanied by the anxiety of potential discovery. Yet gradually, enthusiasm overshadowed every concern. We existed for it. Untamed fervor. Each encounter felt like plunging straight into the depths of our complex emotions. He had a unique ability to make me forget everything else, elevating me to levels of pleasure I had never experienced before. The house illuminated brightly. It had transformed from a mere quiet place into a vibrant hub pulsating with intense energy. The moments we shared crackled with energy. Time seemed to vanish in an instant. Each afternoon, rays of sunlight streamed through the window. I stood by, anticipating his return. His footsteps ignited every nerve within me. The thrill sent my heart racing. Flutter. We encountered each other on several occasions in the shadows. Grieving side by side, our gazes intertwined. I was completely enchanted, no turning back. We continued to hold on, staying close through every moment until I completed college. It was as if time had come to a standstill. Only the two of us confiding our innermost secrets within those walls. At this point, I find it hard to imagine returning to how things used to be. The existence I previously believed to be tranquil. Completely captivated by this intense connection, I felt as though my spirit is ensnared in a tempest of emotions and recollections, utterly adrift and uncertain. What happened that led to this situation? Reflecting on the past, will I ever reclaim that purity and straightforwardness of those times? Will the pain from that time continue to trouble me? My suggestion is to remain vigilant and resist the allure of temptations that may approach you from all directions. Following your instincts may lead to immediate joy, yet it could jeopardize your tranquility and what lies ahead. When you find yourself torn between what feels right and what seems logical, consider whether it's truly worth it. Hold on to the fundamental principles you've established. Value what you possess and consider your choices thoughtfully to prevent future remorse. Do not allow fleeting emotions to eclipse your enduring aspirations. Intense feelings can cloud our perception of what lies ahead. Trust is the foundation that fortifies relationships. Be genuine in your promises. Each decision carries its own repercussions. Rectifying a guilty conscience is an arduous task. Reflect on those in your circle, your allies, and consider your own position. Do not sacrifice your tranquility for a fleeting desire. Feelings can run deep. However, they can effortlessly misguide you if you aren't vigilant. Remain vigilant and have confidence in each choice you undertake.